What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Elden Ring concept crafting video. This time it is the Immortal King. Yes, I took this name from the Diablo 2 set from back in the day. This guy, I wanted to make this guy's scepter right here work. And it's kind of tough to do that, but the build did turn out much better than I thought. Like, I was having a breeze taking out like these bosses. This is NG plus 5, level 150 plus 1 build, and it's all about just using your strength. Really, we're going to discuss everything. I could probably redistribute the stats a bit maybe, and I'll discuss that very soon. Actually, we can get into it now and then we'll get back to the item. So let's go to the stats. Vigor's at 60. You're supposed to have lots of health. um, Mind is at 15. You're not supposed to have lots of mana. You're not going to be casting a lot. Where, as you can see, I only have 4 spells down there at the bottom right hand corner. And there are 3 buffs and 1 spell, really. Endurance can be taken down probably by 5 points or so, maybe. I don't know, just a few points. So you can take those points and add them into like strength and maybe hit 55 strength or around that mark. Dexterity is at 20 because of the requirement on this weapon here is 24 strength, 25 faith, and 20 dex. And I believe if you plan on reaching level 200, 300, this weapon becomes a lot more valuable if you keep dumping points into those stats evenly. That's what I hear. An even spread is actually better, even though I don't really have an even spread here. Just when I tried it, it felt like the more points I dumped into strength, the more attack power I got out of it. But I haven't done any proper testing yet, so um, that's why that's like that. Intelligence, of course, is default. Faith is 25, not just because of the requirement. You need Golden Vow, so it's just perfect for it. And Arcane, of course, is the same default. So back to the Devourer Scepter. This is what I wanted to make the Devourer of Worlds to work. And honestly, in the open world, when you're running around, there are just a bunch of enemies around you all the time. Bosses that have ads, this is pretty good. Like, you can be at low health and just like, position yourself. It's all about positioning yourself and timing. If you do that, if you can get those 2 down, you will be able to, sustain yourself using the Devourer of Worlds, Ash of War. And when you have all those ads around and all those creatures, this becomes pretty useful here. Just having it in the offhand. I do have Brogart's Roar here. Just it's a small buff, but you can switch that out. I haven't really experimented with this too much because, like, I barely use this weapon. You can use it if you want an option for, let's say, something with faster attack speed. This would fit. You can change the scaling on it by changing the attribute. You can make it scale with intelligence, faith, depending on what Ash of War you use and what affinity you assign to it. This whole set right here, it just looks good. You barely take damage. Again, an NG plus 5, just with Golden Vow really as a form of protection, and that's it. Of course, we got the Trinket here, the Dragon Crest, Great Shield Talisman rather, and that's it. That's your only form of protection. You will be getting lots of staggers, so this is good because this will make sure that you stay, topped up and all that. This is good for the open world only, or maybe sometimes with bosses that have um, ads with them, and ads are kind of easy to kill. So, like, you don't have to focus down the ads first. You can focus on the boss, just keep running around creating space, and whenever you take damage, position yourself in a way that you can use the Ash of War, and once you kill any creature, you'll get a little bit of extra health. However, you can switch this out with that if you are willing to use the sword, because the sword attacks pretty fast. What was it called? The Serpent, yeah, Serpent God's Heavy Curved Sword here. Um, if you want to use that, even in your offhand, you can attack quite quick with it, and in combination with Guskin Swaddling Cloth, you can get some HP back, but it's not necessary. I haven't really done it myself because I am going for just the effect that this gives here, which is pretty much, as you can see, formerly used to offer up sacrifices. This sword restores HP upon slaying enemies, so it's really nice for that. And with that, it's pretty good. Here, as you can see, stone bar cracked here because you want to break enemy stances whenever you can. And of course, strength not crystal tier because I noticed that strength does better, performs seems like it gives more attack power to the scepter that I'm holding, and you can switch any of them out with like maybe upline or uplane, whatever you want to call it, hard tier for more defenses. But I don't do that, so it's not necessary. And last but not least, I'm getting ready to respec. This is why I'm here. And I thought I'll show you all the stats, record everything before I respec and forget. And I only have 2 larval tiers left, so I can't respec as many times as I want, guys. Let's see. Very easy, very simple. I'm going to get through it really fast. Golden Vow, as you can see, increase attack and defenses for self and allies. Flame grant me strength. Your attack, the Ash of War that you use, and your weapon is already infused with fire damage. So whenever you deal damage, you will see, you will notice that you're dealing fire damage to the enemy, and you do physical damage. So this is a must right here, in my opinion. And unlike the Howl of Shibriri, it doesn't make you take so much damage. And these are only 2 sources of damage, really. Like, you can have a fire spell on this build if you'd like. I haven't done that, but I haven't really thought about it too much. I will if you guys vote for this build when we make a poll. And this is very important. I go for this because it requires only 18 FP. That means my mana bar will be fully drained after I cast these 3 spells. Then I have to drink a mana flask, and then I can use the Stone of Goronk when the enemy is afar. This is very useful to help you stagger. It's very powerful. I use it on one of my other builds as well. I believe the Incredible General, and now the Immortal King. Um, so as you can see, you have a few options for fire, not too many. I mean, O Flame is possible. I mean, you probably wouldn't go for this. You can. I mean, you are regenerating health, but it's not really that useful. But you probably can go for, I would go for O Flame and maybe Black Flame, and that's it. Like, just 2 different flame spells. You can even go just for Flame Sling. I mean, it does cost less than this, but this does more damage, especially against enemies that have lots of HP. And that's about it. I mean, I would go for some of the defensive ones, of course. You know, Bear of Gold and so forth, depending on the boss fight. But that's about it, guys. So, BRB, I'm not going to fight the troll this time. We're going to get straight to boss fights. And maybe not first boss fights, we're just going to fight like some random units, you know, roaming in the open world. And some boss fights as well. So BRB, guys.
Alright everyone, I am back. Now I'm going to show you what it's like to take on this dragon, and then generally the whole point of this is to show you, give you an idea what it's like to fight one-on-one with bosses. Using your Ash of War against single targets is probably not advised unless you're desperate for some health and you're out of flasks but you have mana somehow, then sure, you can do that, but keep in mind that you're not going to be able to get much health back using this method. And this Devourer of Worlds is really designed for multiple enemies. We're gonna get into that in a bit as well. After I defeat this enemies, I'll show you, and you'll see what I mean. So as you can see, this dragon here is getting annoying, almost kills me here. But I've fought many dragons at this point, so I feel quite confident with my skills fighting these dragons. They're not really an issue. Was able to stagger it once. I would have probably been able to do it twice, but it didn't fly as much as I wanted it to. Um, or like I didn't want it to fly so much, but it did. But again, it was a pretty easy um, boss to deal with, even though despite being in like NG plus 5. And I'm dealing, alright damage. It's not really that much. It really isn't. It's not overpowered in any form or way, but like this build is like stat hungry, and I think like if you level it up, or if you're planning on leveling up your character all the way to like let's say 300 or something, then this build will really shine. As you know, you scale with dexterity and strength and faith, so you can start, putting a lot more points in there, getting those between 80 to 60. I'm sure your damage will increase massively. And as you can see here, staggered him just using the Stone of Garunk. And like I was saying earlier on, guys, this is where the build really shines, is when you fight people like this commander right here, who summons ads and is, depending on his ads, to be annoying and to pretty much take care of you. And he does help them, he buffs them and all that. But as you can see, that Ash of War you have, the Devourer of Worlds, is just so OP against bosses like this guy right here. Not so much so against single targets, but if you're planning on like running around in the world and like just doing everything and just grabbing a bunch of things and fighting different enemies, and you're not like targeting specific bosses only or any of that, then I can see this build as being pretty decent. I'm not gonna tell you like it's an amazing build, unless maybe I reach level 300 with this character, which I am not planning on doing, but I think that is one possible way. And as you can see, I'm not like doing endgame content endgame. I'm just giving you an idea of how easy it is for you to deal with like random enemies. As you can see, dealing massive damage to these creatures right here, the worm faces, and even this boss right here. Just with the Stone of Gorong, look how much damage we've already done to him before he even got to us. As you can see, my melee damage wasn't as much. I believe I did get a headshot there, and that's why he took so much damage. But still, and he's not dealing that much damage either. Your armor set does help you quite a lot. And here I get lost. I'm like, where the hell is this face? Jeez, like there's no face here. Is that the back of the head, or is that even a face? I am not even sure, to be honest. But I was spewing some nasty stuff, so I just used the Stone of Garunk. Again, a boss with ads. It's not really a boss, it's like an elite creature that was guarding this tree here instead of those Earth Tree avatars. So I thought I would take care of it and show you how easy it is to kill a bunch of, weak creatures like this one. I even let them intentionally hit me here so I can get some health back, because I would feel bad using that otherwise, using my Ash of War. And this is the last final boss fight, guys, here. So I'm gonna show you what it's like. And as you can see, we're dealing decent damage again. Nothing wow, but it's good enough for you to take care of this creature. And like, if you already know the boss mechanics very well, you're gonna have a much easier time than I did. But if you don't, and you're worse than me, then yeah, I mean, like, you might need a more powerful build, which I have made some powerful ones, but there are weapons that I do want to try, and this is one of them, and try to like, create builds around them. You can make most weapons work. They're just not gonna be the best weapons to use for like endgame and all that. Anyways, guys, we're nearing the end now, so as always, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the Immortal King, and can't wait to see what the next build's gonna be like. Anyways, have a great day, take care, see you all next time. Peace.